Sorry, everyone.
Mr. Manzi?
Yes, we are live.
Mayor, I don't have a statement to make on the beginning.
Okay, if you would, I'd like to call to order the March 23rd meeting of the Common Council. If you'll all rise and join me in a pledge of allegiance to the flag of our nation. I pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which
it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Clerk, if you'll please call the roll.
Mr. Burnett,
Present.
could everyone please unmute? Thank you. Ms. Johnson? Here. Mr. Langella?
Here.
Mr. Sacchinelli?
Present.
Ms. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Huvelman?
Present.
Mr. Roberts?
Present.
Ms. Ravoulis?
She said here.
You're muted, Ms. Ravoulis.
No, she's not.
Ms.
I
Young?
don't see it muted. No.
Here.
Mr. Kides?
Here.
Mr. Theodorides?
Here.
Mr. Keegan?
Here.
Mr. Tsiranides?
Here.
Mr. Livingston?
Here.
Ms. Shanahan? Here. 15 present, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is acceptance of the minutes of the regular meeting of March 9th, 2021. Do I have a motion? Motion made by Ms. Smith. Any comments, deletions, corrections? Ms. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I did notice that on the last page, page 8, in the first paragraph, it is in the last sentence. It says, she explained why those chose Fitzgerald. I don't know if those is supposed to be something else. Why they, I assume, chose Fitzgerald and Halliday, and said, so it sounds like it should be, and added that they, so taking out said there, all agreed as a panel. Thank you.
Okay. Any further corrections, omissions? Seeing none, all in favor of the minutes as corrected.
Mr. Mayor, I think Diana had Ms. Revolus.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Revolus?
I don't think her audio is
Yeah,
working.
your audio is not working.
Nothing.
Maybe if you unplug your headset, it might. Oh, you don't have it. Okay.
Mr.
No,
Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I think I know what
Mr.
you.
Livingston?
Yeah, thank you. I think I know the comment she was going to make, which is on the same page, the second paragraph on that page. It says the third to last word. It says time to look at it should be time to look at this instead of look at it. Second line of the second paragraph on that page.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. We need a T in there.
Right.
Okay. Miss Revolus is trying to connect.
Me now?
Now we
Yes.
can hear you.
I don't know what's going on with this computer, but he might have made my statement on the last page.
Put a T in front of the O.
Yeah,
Okay, Mr. Livingston
thank
assisted you.
Thank
We
you.
give
I
Mr.
don't know what's
Livingston an
going on with
assist.
this computer.
That was 3 of us
Appreciate
tonight, Diana.
it. Thank you.
Same thing.
Okay, so now any further corrections, omissions, deletions? Seeing none, all in favor of the minutes as corrected?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Mayor,
Motion
I
car-
abstain.
Oh, Mr. Theodorides abstains. Next item on the agenda, public participation. Mr. Manzi, do we have anyone wishing to speak in addressing the council?
Yes, we do. If you'd like to speak, please raise your hand electronically and I will unmute you. The first person we have is Ileana
Zuniga.
Zuniga. Thank you.
Okay. Ms.
You'll-
Zuniga,
you.
Ms. Zuniga, you're on. The floor is
Thank you
yours.
very much. Thank you. And thank you, Donna, for my name. Dear Commissioners of the City of Norwalk and Mayor Rilling, my name is Ileana Zuniga, and I reside at 8 Running Brook Lane in Norwalk. I would like to applaud the desire of the city to find ways to fight injustice and promote equity for all of our citizens of our beautiful city. I am the founder of Latinos Unidos Norwalk, which currently has almost 1,200 members of the Latino community in our town. In this role, I get to learn and hear from people from all backgrounds and nationalities and see their needs and suffering firsthand. In the past few months, a lot of these people have suffered injustice, discrimination, hate speech, and lack of access to resources they need to survive. I plead to the council and the consulting firm that will be in charge of conducting this research for the creation of the commission that you engage with the people that are currently victims of inequity and injustice, not with politicians that claim to represent these groups that are only seeking airspace and self-promotion. I hope that when you refer to community, you consider all the people and not just that represent votes, but all human beings living in the city of Norwalk. I ask you to reach out to people within the undocumented community and hear their fears of going to the police when they have been abused because of their status. Please take a moment tonight to even imagine the amount of courage it takes for an undocumented person to walk into a police station, only to be told nobody can understand them or help them. I hope you reach out to those that have not been able to get involved with their children's schools or the community, health or city issues because of language barriers. People are being pushed out of the city because of escalating rent costs or abusing landlords that threaten them with being reported to ICE if they don't give in to their threats. I ask you to go and find those that are the victims of what you're trying to fight against and listen. Truly listen to what they have to say and find ways to build safe spaces for them to come and talk to you all. The pandemic has widened the gap even more when it comes to inequity, access to education, health, affordable and dignified housing, and even basic information access. I urge you to make sure that you have the people in your team that are bilingual in Spanish, Creole, and any of the other languages spoken in the city. This is a basic need, not a nice to have. This last year running this group, I have learned many lessons on what type of issues the Latino community is facing. I am happy to share my experiences with you to help you understand what the pain points are. I am optimistic that our taxpayer dollars will be invested wisely, and we will not only identify the issues, find the solutions, but also implement quickly the changes that are so needed to give equity and justice to all. A thorough report means nothing without action. We have no time to spare. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Zuniga. Mr. Manzi, is there anybody else that signed up?
Yes, we have JALIN Seed.
Mr. Seed?
Hi, everybody. My name is JALIN Seed from 24 Woodbury in Norwalk, Connecticut. Just here to really thank you guys for the work that you guys started with the commission. And I just really wanted to piggyback off of a statement that Councilwoman Revlo said at the committee meeting, and just urge you guys to really get inside the community and not just the same people who tend to represent the community, but really get into the streets and speak to these people in the housing projects and really who have been dealing with the inequities in our city. Not just the people that always in the meetings are already always in City Hall, even myself, who always are speaking out for these people, but also is really get into the streets and talk to people who may not have access or may not know about these meetings and know what's going on, and really reach out, because this is a great opportunity for us to really work on and polish up the diversity in our city that we claim and we treasure so often. So I think this is a good opportunity. I thank you guys for proposing it, and I'm not against it, but I just really want you guys to really get inside the community and talk to the community so that we can really make this as best as we can. So thanks again, and we're here to help the communities here, and they're excited for this.
Thank you, Mr. Seed. Mr. Manzi?
There's no one else, Mayor.
Now, I understand that the clerk has received a few pieces of or several correspondence items, and a lot of the council people have received them, but she should read them into the record, so any member of the public that is listening to this meeting will also be able to hear the comments. So, Ms. King?
The first one is from Farah Marin, 63 Bayview Avenue. First, I would like to thank you for moving forward with the Equity and Justice for All Commission as a Norwalker who is active in grassroots conversations about race and justice. I hope that this commission and any partners it chooses will partner with local activists to cooperate, to co-create a plan of action to address racism and inequalities in our city. After meeting with other organizers, I have a few questions regarding this commission and how it will operate. What is the scope of this commission? Is it a permanent group? Will it be project-based? What specific tasks will be assigned? How will findings be presented? How will they become actionable? How will these projects or initiatives be prioritized and voted on? What will the selection process for members of the commission look like? How will the commission recruit and engage with people of color that are typically not represented in city government meetings, such as immigrants, the youth, elderly, and disabled? How will the commission prioritize finding fresh faces? I also would like information on what tools and practices the Led by Us firm will be using to address racism in this city. While I'm happy to hear that a Black-led organization will be assisting us with our journey toward a more just community, I'd like to emphasize that young organizers have been at it for years without being listened to by leadership. Hundreds of thousands of dollars could have been saved if you had listened to us from the onset. I look forward to continuing this conversation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms.
The
Marin.
second one is from Jolie Leong, a resident of 81 Wolf Pit Avenue. Thank you for moving forward with the Equity and Justice for All Commission. As a Norwalker who is passionate about racial justice, I hope that this commission and any partners it chooses will take special care in collaborating with our grassroots community activists to develop a cohesive, inclusive vision and plan of action to address racism and inequalities in the city. As an Asian American woman, the recent events in Atlanta have shaken me and made me reflect on the general invisibility on a national scale of my community. I hope that Led by Us and the Equity and Justice for All Commission will take special care in making sure even the most nuanced of experiences are heard and accounted for as they develop programs for Norwalk. Complete transparency with the public by providing clear documentation of plans and impact analysis reports for programs that are implemented are essential. In my experience, community engagement in theory and community engagement in practice are two different things. So accountability is something the public should be able to monitor. Thank you for taking up this important work and look forward to open communication throughout the process.
Mayor, we
Thank
have
you, Ms.
one other
Young.
person.
Okay.
I have one more letter.
Oh,
One
okay.
more, let us read the letter and then we'll invite the other person in.
Okay, thank you. This is from Patrick McDonald, resident of 442 Main Avenue, Norwalk. I thank the council for moving forward with the Equity and Justice for All Commission. As a Norwalker who is passionate about racial justice, I hope that this commission and Led by Us will help create a broad vision and plan of action to address racism and inequalities in the city. After meeting with like-minded community members, I hope to suggest a number of specific recommendations about racial justice and equity that we would like the city and commission to take seriously. First bullet, improved city services for immigrants and non-English speakers, for example, addressing language barriers at police station. Improved access to social services, more resources to help enroll families on rent and utility assistance. Acknowledge past discrimination in city hiring, personnel decisions, and ensure equity going forward. Create open spaces that feel safe for young people of color. End over policy of public spaces in South Norwalk. We have also made a comprehensive but by no means exhaustive list of some general action items needed to address issues of health, education, and housing in Norwalk. We hope this can help guide the council as it defends the scope of the commission's work. Health, equitable access to COVID-19 vaccines, improved communication around vaccine for non-English speakers, more resources for community-based healthcare for seniors of color, more resources toward mental health support for people of color, improved services and accommodations for people with disabilities, improved public health options for cities under and uninsured. Education, equitable distribution of resources to all children in Norwalk Public Schools, improved resources for special ed, more support for ELL programs, offer healthy and high quality food in Norwalk Public School cafeterias. Housing, much more affordable housing needed to address gentrification, end illegal evictions, and increase outreach to identify and help victims. Thank you for taking up this important work. We believe the next step is to make sure the commission seeks input and guidance from Norwalk's communities of color, particularly young organizers who all often are left out of the picture.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. Mr. Manzi?
Next, we have Heidi Alterman. If you unmute.
Hi, thank you. My name is Heidi Alterman. I live at 29 Sherwood Street in Norwalk, in the Cranberry section. I'm on the School Governance Council at Cranberry Elementary, and I do the garden initiatives there. I just wanted to speak quickly on, I would really hope that this commission is going to work alongside the equity study that was already started by Temple University, and also obviously asking for the input of our superintendent, Dr. Estrella. She has been, as far as I can tell, wonderful for our school system to start. I am really excited about her being here for our city, and I would really hope that any commission dealing with race equity, they will ask her opinion. That's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alterman. Mr. Manzi?
There's no one else, Mayor Rilling.
Okay, thank you very much. Does any council person have anything that they need to have read into the record? Seeing none, we'll move forward. Next item on the agenda, there are no resignations and appointments. Under my remarks, I too want to thank the council for moving forward on this proposal. When I recall the Blue Ribbon Commission, the Blue Ribbon Commission study that was commissioned back in 1993, I believe, and several of the people perhaps on this council were a part of it. And it was, I think it was a job well done. But what happened was it simply got put on a shelf for the most part and really didn't get followed up upon. So after the George Floyd incident, when George Floyd was murdered, and we had protests throughout the United States, this is just something that needed to be done. And I was happy that I assigned Lamont Daniels to be the person. He's here tonight to answer any questions that anybody may have. I know a lot of the questions that were asked in the public comments, he can answer, and we'll make sure that we get answers to the people who wrote in and people who might have commented. But Mr. Daniels did an excellent job in moving forward on the request for proposal. We did go out twice, I believe, Mr. Daniels, for proposals, and with the pandemic and the difficulties in getting certain things done, perhaps delayed this a little bit longer than we would have liked, but now we're up and running. I also had the opportunity to meet the Led by Us team. I'm totally confident in their ability. I'm totally confident in their experience. And I'm totally confident that we all will be working together to make sure that this commission is able to function, has the resources, has the support, and absolutely, yes, we will be reaching out deeply into the community to hear from the people that we serve. all too often we tend to tell people what we need or what they need. I'm sorry. But now we need to find out what they need. So this will be a comprehensive effort to dig deep into the community, reach out to the people in the community, hear from them, and listen to them. Hearing and listening are two different things, and we want to make sure that we listen to them and we act on what they say. So again, I want to thank the council for taking this up. This is something that was very important, not only to me, but to the council and to the entire city of Norwalk. And I hope that other communities will look at us as a model that they can replicate, and that perhaps we can help them accomplish the same kinds of things in their community that we are looking to accomplish. So again, thank you. And again, a praise to Mr. Daniels for his hard work in finally bringing this to this point. And I look forward to the beginning of the commission. Last but not least, we are still doing vaccination clinics, trying to reach out to communities of color to provide an opportunity for some people who are underrepresented in the vaccine administration process so that we can get the vaccination into the arms of as many people as we possibly can. We are well over 6,000 in our vaccinations so far this past Saturday. And thank you to Mr. Burnett and to anybody else that might have been there. We had a remarkable vaccine clinic at Brian McMahon High School where we administered just under 1,000 vaccines. And it was so well organized that all we got was praise. There was no waiting. There was no confusion. It was just really, really well done. And we also, as you might have known, that we had a vaccine clinic at Grace Baptist Church, thanks to Reverend Lindsay Curtis, and another vaccine clinic at Bethel AME, thanks to Reverend Clark. And we wish to continue those so we can encourage all people about the importance of the vaccine, give them information so that they can make an informed decision. So with that, again, I will thank the health department and Mr. Daniels for this wonderful job that they do. And we're not going to forget that this would not be possible if it wasn't for the volunteers. And many of you right on this council have volunteered. Darlene, David, Dominique, really everybody on the council has volunteered at one time or another. So thank you so much. And turn it over to Mr. Sachinelli.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight, the consent calendar is going to be read by Mr. Greg Burnett. Mr. Burnett, it's all yours.
Thank you. I would like to move to approve the following consent calendar, starting with Recreation, Parks, and Cultural Affairs Committee. Item 7A1, authorize the Mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute the HGAC by interlocal contract for the City of Norwalk to participate in the Houston-Galveston Area Council H-GAC Cooperative Purchasing Program. This agreement allows the city to purchase products and services that have been contracted after being subject to either a competitive bid, IBFB, or competitive proposal, RFP process. Item 7A2, authorize the purchasing agent to issue a purchase via sole source order to Grassboro All-Terrain Vehicles, Inc. for the purchase of one Sherrington Model 5500 beach cleaner for a sum not to exceed $124,010, account noted, approved in the fiscal year 2021 capital fleet purchase. Under the Finance and Claims Committee, item 7B1, accept and approve the report of the Claims Committee dated March 11, 2021. Item 7B2, for informational purposes only, narrative on tax collection dated March 11, 2021. Item 7B3, for informational purposes only. Monthly Tax Collectors Report dated February 2021. Item 7B4, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to agree to the Connecticut Green Bank Commercial Property Assessed Clean Energy CPACE Program Assessment Billing and Collecting Change. Item 7B5, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to terminate contract with Hilltop Securities, Inc. for project number 3986, Financial Advisory Services for Bond Sale. Item 7B6, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute a contract with Bill Lindsay at Millstat Services, Inc. to provide financial advisory consulting services for the fiscal year 2021 through 2024, account noted. Under Community Services and Personnel Committee, item 7C1, approve of the and vote on the new position description for Communications Director and reassignment of Grants Coordinator responsibilities. Item 7C2, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute any and all documents necessary to apply for and accept the School Readiness Grant, which includes the Quality Enhancement Grant for period July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. That completes the consent calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Burnett. I'll take a roll call vote. Councilperson Greg Burnett,
Aye.
Councilperson Dominique Johnson,
Aye.
Councilperson Manny Langella,
Aye.
Nick Sacinelli, aye. Councilperson Barbara Smith,
Yes.
Councilperson David Huvelman,
Aye.
Councilperson Kadeem Roberts,
Aye.
Councilperson Diana Revolus.
She said aye.
I see her. Councilperson Darlene Young,
Yes.
Councilperson John Kites,
Yes.
Councilperson George Tsiranides,
Yes.
Councilperson Thomas Keegan,
Yes.
Councilperson George Tsiranides,
Yes.
Councilperson Tom Livingston,
Yes.
and Councilperson Lisa Shanahan.
Yes.
It's unanimous. Mr. Mayor, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Sacinelli. And now we have item 7C3, Ms. Smith.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I would like to move the item and speak to it if I may.
You have the floor.
And it is with great honor and pleasure that I read this item to authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an agreement with Led by Us and Associates for the consultant for the Equity and Justice for All Commission for a period of 1 year for a total amount not to exceed $150,000. Account number is, and let the record show that I do have the account number, 012-010-5298, other contractual services. I would like to note regarding that, that amount that we do have a commitment from the Fairfield County Community Foundation. And I just want to thank Juanita James so much for her efforts here to provide $50,000 of that amount. So we will not be needing that full amount from that account number. And I'm just, so grateful. I think the community in general is so grateful to Ms. James and the foundation for that donation to this effort. I would also just like to take a moment to thank those of you who spoke and wrote in to Ileana, JALIN, Farah, Jolie, Patrick, and Heidi. Your compelling and very important words are noted, not just by me, but certainly by the members of Led by Us. These are some of the issues that we have talked about. I was honored to be on the selection committee and get to know this very fine consultant. And, if, some of you may have had the opportunity to tune into the community services meeting last week to see their presentation. I think that they did answer some of these questions, but, they will certainly address them tonight. And I'd just like to say personally that, having been a teacher in our schools over the past 12 years, retired from that life now, but, every day I saw the results of inequity in our city, and how really genuinely important it is that we do this work. And that, so many of you who spoke here tonight said, we don't want talk. We don't want, we know what some of the problems are. We don't know what some of the problems are, but we don't want just talk. We want action. We need action. And I genuinely believe that Led by Us is the right consultant to help us get there. I just wanted to also thank the mayor for, approaching this in a really profound and meaningful way. I'm sorry, my dogs are barking. There's someone at the door.
He's thanking the mayor too.
What's that? Yes, he thanks everyone. After the George Floyd killing, I had numerous conversations with the mayor about, what's the city going to do? And he proposed the Equity and Justice for All Commission as a way to promote equal rights for all of our citizens, regardless of race, identity, gender, religion, socioeconomic status. These are all, all the things that we want to make sure to look at. And it took us a long time to get here. And I know that, we've waited patiently and impatiently to get to this point, but this is an important and happy day for the city of Norwalk and the people of Norwalk. I would also like to take a moment to thank Lamont Daniels for his very fine leadership throughout this search, making sure that we found the right consultant who has the expertise to, create the strategies that are needed to focus on equity, inclusion, and social justice, make sure that the right community conversations are happening, and working collaboratively with citizens, both young and old. And I do want to take a moment to really highlight that, because I heard that from some of the speakers tonight. It's really important that we listen to the youth, and not dismiss what they have to say. That's really important. So I just want to make sure to note that I want to make sure that happens. But we also want to make sure that we're working with our schools and community organizations, with businesses and religious groups to ensure the success of the commission and to enact real and meaningful change. And that's what we want, real and meaningful change. So with that, again, thank you to the mayor, to Lamont. I'd like to turn it over to Lamont to answer some questions and to introduce Led by Us to us.
Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone, to Mayor, President Satinelli, and my Madam Chair for the Community Services and Personnel Committee, to all of you, the Common Council members. Good evening, and good evening to all. So for those that may be watching, there is an attachment that gives an overview and summary, but I just want to highlight a portion of it where it notes that it is important to emphasize that this work cannot be accomplished by the city alone, and that the city must and will work collaboratively and cooperatively with other public and private institutions, with organizations, our community, including our religious organizations, our nonprofits, our business, and most important, members, our individuals, our constituents, our residents of Norwalk, Connecticut. I've had the pleasure so far to serve in the city of Norwalk for, I think, almost 2 years now. And I think after a month or two, we hit the ground running. And I had an opportunity to meet a variety of people. And I've also met a few of those individuals that spoke. I think what you're going to hear tonight And I'm going to ask Mr. Ayala, can he explain again on this conference, on this committee, why the name Led by Us? Because I think that would also give you understanding that the term Led by Us and Associates is not just what they're called, it's who they are. And I think that's so important. And you're absolutely right, Norwalk. We don't want the same thing over and over again. And that's our commitment. I also want to elevate the partnership, as Madam Chair has indicated, from the Fairfield County Community Foundation. They are a thought leader in this work. They are a key stakeholder in their work, and they have made a commitment to take the journey with us. And they echo the very same sentiments. And they said to Norwalk, we are committed to investing in this work, but they too don't want to see just another report and another plan. They too have indicated they want to see real action. So tonight, through a competitive bidding process, through a 7-member panel that we believe was diverse, and it was clear at the onset, the Connecticut Youth Leadership alumni had a role, and they made it very clear during the interview process, ensure we have young people. This is just the beginning. Under Mayor's leadership, our commitment is to make sure we engage everyone, even those we may have different opinions. But what's important is we come together as a community because we all have one common goal, and that's for our city to thrive and that all Norwalkers can be proud and call this city their home. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to the city of Norwalk on this platform, the Led by Us and Associates, the consulting team that we will contract with once it's moved formally after this to engage, to facilitate a meaningful process. We have already been in contact with the school. We've already been in contact with Norwalk Acts. Again, this will not be done in silo. There's been great and fantastic work that's already occurred. Our desire and goal is to connect the dots to make sure we stay the course, and to the mayor's point that we institutionalize this work beyond the institutions, beyond who's in office. And so I already spoke with Mr. Kelvin Ayala. He's like me, we can go all day, but we know we don't want to be 3 hours. So I'm going to ask him to introduce himself. But I also want Mr. Ayala, can you talk and share why the term Led by Us, introduce your team, and then we'll entertain any questions from the Common Council that they may have. And also forgot to say one thing, we encourage everyone to watch the Community Services and Personnel Committee, as Madam Chair mentioned. It's a very rich and robust conversation. The committee members ask real and honest questions, and I believe you'll be very pleased with the responses and what is yet to come. So without further ado, for the third time, Mr. Kelvin Ayala and the Led by Us and Associates team. Good evening and welcome to Norwalk, Mr. Ayala and team.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Lamont, for that rousing introduction. It feels great to be here and be invited and be welcomed at this point with open arms by the city of Norwalk. I'd like to thank first Mayor Harry Rilling, the entire Common Council for inviting us to be here. Most importantly, the Norwalk residents who spoke today, got entered into the record, and for all Norwalk residents listening and not listening. I just want to thank you for allowing us to be here and sharing a few words. Led by Us and Associates is a consulting firm based on responsible urban revitalization. And what we look to do is equip community stakeholders with necessary tools, resources, and confidence to build, design, and execute what it really means to lead and be proactive within our communities. We look to empower the communities with strategic and sustainable action items to create non-reactive, intentional, accountable, and transformative change. We really looked at that RFP and really saw an opportunity for change. The city of Norwalk is implementing a lot of great things already. You guys already have a really good consultant working with your Board of Education, so we're not looking to duplicate any efforts there. With me tonight, I have two amazing people of our team here at Led by Us. Again, my name is Kelvin Ayala, principal, and I would be the program manager working with the city of Norwalk. I have Ms. Natalie Price with us here today, who's our Business and Workforce Development Director, and she brings a ton of entrepreneurship experience as well. I also have Kim Bianca Williams here with us, who's our Director of Community Development, and brings a ton of knowledge and expertise and passion to community development and empowering community stakeholders and stakeholder engagement. So Lamont said, chime in, and why led by us? And we say, in-house, we say LBU or LBU and Associates, but it is led by us. And as a collective of consultants, we've all had to navigate different journeys in our career paths. And we've had to deal with systemic issues, inequities in our career paths, all being in professional endeavors. However, we've all had to deal with access to lack of capital, access to lack of resources, not being invited to the table when it comes to planning and understanding how our communities need to grow. And it just got to the point where we continue to work together and get by so many issues and barriers that naturally just exist. And we just got tired of trying to navigate those waters. And what we learned was that we all became successful individually, and as a collective, we came together and formed Led by Us and Associates, where we can consult and help other communities navigate what it means to become a sustainable and resilient community. And how do we empower and teach people in these marginalized communities, people of color, people who look like us, what it means to deal with these issues and how to get over them. How do we get over the hump? And I'm a firm believer that that kind of conversation needs to be led by us, because we've lived it, we've succeeded, and we've gotten by it, and we have a story to tell that we can connect with the community that others may not be able to. And that's where the Led by Us name came from, and we do stand by our name and the work that we do, and we're passionate about the work that we do, and we understand the importance of what it is to put this kind of work forward so that it improves the quality of life for all residents of the city of Norwalk. So with that said, I won't go any more about us, but we're open and here for you to answer any questions.
I think it's important that let the community know, or the city know, that Miss Natalie, and if you don't mind, Mr. Ali, my dominant skill set is facilitation. So if you don't mind, I definitely want Natalie to speak to let Norwalkers know that, you know, you're a daughter of this city.
I am, and I am there every weekend still, because my parents still live in Norwalk, so I'm still very familiar with Norwalk, and I still have it as a high school brand. So when I'm driving through the city, I remember walking here, I remember going here. So I still definitely have a very strong tie to Norwalk. I'm a graduate of Brian McMahon High School, all of my siblings. I love the diversity that I had in Norwalk, the upbringing that I had. It gave me a great foundation. Norwalk gave me a foundation. The opportunity to go to college allowed me to create opportunities, and Bridgeport allowed me to grow. And now I'm back home. So I'm excited to be able to come back home and to make some true change and help Norwalk move forward in that.
Fantastic. And Ms. Kimbiaka, would you just share a little bit about yourself more, so Norwalkers can get a flavor of a little bit about you, so that they understand the criticalness of who we hired and what you all bring to the table?
Yes, and thank you for this opportunity. I was just itching to speak to the concern about the youth. You know, one of the things that I bring to the table, in addition to community engagement, is that I'm an adjunct professor at 3 universities. And so I am constantly dealing with the youth and their issues. And I teach communications. So it's wonderful to be able to sit amongst these young men and women and hear what they have to say and help to direct them in finding solutions to the problems. And it would be just amazing if I saw one of my students in Norwalk and I've had that conversation with them, because that's what I teach them to do. It is extremely important that we acknowledge the voice of the youth, because that generation has so much to offer: the technology, the access, being boots on the ground. And I am just excited about being able to particularly engage that audience. In addition to work with colleges, I am an active member in our local community and have been for here in Bridgeport over 11 years, and in Georgia for over 20 years. So I am really looking forward to engaging with you all, the city of Norwalk. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. So, Madam Chair Barbara Smith, I don't know if I'll turn it back to you or to the president if the Common Council has any questions, or the mayor. I'm not sure who.
Okay. Are there any? Barbara sees me right next to her, so she got. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ayala and Ms. Price and Ms. Williams. It's a pleasure to see you again. Any council people would like to ask a question or make a comment? Mr. Burnett, and then Ms. Revolou.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a comment. I mean, we have received several notes and letters and phone calls and questions and comments since the press conference announcement last Wednesday. And this input is actually really welcomed and appreciated because it highlights the fact that Norwalk residents want to be involved in this process. I think there's plenty of room for improvement in our policies, procedures, and practices. There are some areas where we provide really great services, and there's other deliverables that truly need to be addressed. We have to focus on what we can do and must do, as opposed to what we can't do and do not want to do. This commission, this work, is going to challenge several people to think differently, and most importantly, act differently, in order for all Norwalk residents to be welcomed, appreciated, and excel within our city. I truly see this as an investment. We need involvement, and it's extremely intentional. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burnett. Ms. Revolou, did you have your hand up? Okay.
I didn't, because I'm afraid of this computer not hearing me.
No, we can hear you now.
Okay. I didn't, but what I've spoken before on this. I'm happy you guys are here, as long as we're intentional, as long as we go into the community. Like said, I appreciate the community actually speaking up. I would implore you to understand that there is leadership on the ground that you will not see looking at you right now. And in organizations, I would implore you to understand that we're all not in churches. To think of if you're concerned to talk about, I'm just saying it just because I come from the Haitian community, not to say we're all of this, but if you wouldn't walk into like people who believe in the church or voodoo, these are all people who need help. You know what I mean? Just don't be scared to speak to the real movers and shakers, and a lot of them are not here. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Ms. Revolou. Mr. Roberts.
Just want to say thank you to Lamont and the staff and Mr. Mayor. Definitely want to say thank you to you as well. As you know, we were here last year and you led a town hall meeting that had 300 plus people on there asking questions. But not only that, you kept your word. And this Equality for Justice Commission is now where we needed to be today. And I just want to say thank you for that, because the people definitely wanted it and the people needed it. So the main thing I say now tonight is now is the time. You know, we've marched within the city of Norwalk. Those that spoke today have marched in the city of Norwalk as well for equality situations and police brutality. But now that we have led by us tonight. I just want to say thank you guys. I gave you guys your roses within our committee meeting, but I just want people to see, like, those that are going through these inequalities, you know, the people that we have here on this commission coming up, they look just like you and me, you know, and you should feel comfortable, but now you should feel welcome. So the accountability piece, we got to that already. The transparency piece, we're going to get to that as well. But now the work piece and being outside within what Mr. Seed said today, the streets, we're going to get there. And once we get there, let's keep the needle moving forward. I truly, this right here is true and dear to my heart. And when I did ask you guys questions about, you know, what happened with George Floyd and how you guys are doing within your city led by us, you guys explained to me what you guys are doing for your city. And now I just need that same type of energy within my city. And I want you guys, and I'm holding you guys accountable. And those that did speak tonight, hold me accountable, hold everybody on the council accountable, because that's what it's about. We understand that this process did take a while, but without taking time, you won't get wonderful work. And like I said, to led by us, in order to get comfortable, you got to get uncomfortable. So thank you so much for you guys coming out and doing this. And I'm in full support of this. I just want to clear the air on that too as well. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Ms. Young.
So just bringing up the rear, I think at this point, we just have to say, let's go. I mean, I think we've said all that we can say right now at this point. I think we've got a great consultant group, and we just need to move forward. We've got our marching orders and we know what to do. And if nothing else, this is for the community to hold all of us accountable. We are leaders here, but we are not the only leaders in the city. And people lead in different ways, and they don't necessarily have to be in the public's eye. It's a lot of grassroots work that gets done. That's how it's always been. It's nothing different. It's nothing different. And so I'm encouraged by this, and we've got our marching orders. And so I'm ready to follow, led by us. So
Thank you. Any further comments? Ms. Smith.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just one final comment. You know, I just want to say I believe genuinely from my heart that this work will be the single most important thing that we do for our city. You know, to really take care of our people and to genuinely be able to celebrate our diversity. It's the greatest gift we have here in Norwalk, and getting down to what we really need to do to make sure that that happens will just enrich our city and enrich all of our lives. So welcome.
Thank you. Further comments or questions?
I just want to make one quick.
Yes, Mr. Ayala.
And just thank everyone on the council for their passion. And you hear the passion from the people of Norwalk wanting to be involved. I just wanted, so it's entered into the record, because I think there might have been a little misunderstanding, is the commission is not set yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Our task as consultants is to help the city of Norwalk create, form, and put together the Equity and Justice for All Commission. So everyone listening, everyone who chimed in, people who spoke, there's an opportunity for you to serve on this commission. And our goal is to identify Norwalkers from all walks of life that want to participate and eventually be appointed to this commission. So the commission does not exist yet. The commission is not going to be something that's led by us. The community will be on that commission and they would be leading it. It won't be led by us. Our job is to help formulate the commission as one of the deliverables. I just wanted that to be clear on the record.
Thank you. Thank you. So before we take the vote, I just want to say again,
Can I just say one thing?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Revolution.
Just to follow up on Mr. Kevin, what you just, Cleveland? I'm sorry, what you just said. So just so this would be noted, a call out to Norwalk, then I asked to really come out and speak and make your presence known and to be a part of this task force. It's as far as we can do, we've delivered. So now, as we said, to come out to you guys, come out to us and please be a part, speak on for whatever district you're in, for whatever race, color, creed you represent, but now it is the time for the community to get involved. So this is my plight for the community to now respond.
Absolutely. And before we take the vote, I just wanted to add that, you know, it's takes courage for people to open up their doors and have someone come in and take a look at how we're doing. And I always used to say, you know, we've got a great city here and we do a lot of good. It's nice to hear that we do a lot of good, but it's more important to hear some of the things that we could do better and where we're coming up short. And that's where it takes courage for a community. And that's why I applaud the council. I applaud all the people in the community who supported this. I applaud them for having that courage. So again, thank you. And Ms. King, if you will take a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Burnett,
Absolutely aye.
Ms. Johnson,
Aye.
Mr. Langella,
Aye.
Mr. Sacchinelli,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
A wholehearted yes.
Mr. Huvelman,
Aye.
Mr. Roberts,
Now is the time, yes.
Ms. Revolis,
Aye.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Kides,
Yes.
Mr. Theodorides,
Yes.
Mr. Keegan,
Yes.
Mr. Tsiranides,
Yes.
Mr. Livingston,
Yes.
Ms. Shanahan,
Yes.
15 votes, passes unanimously.
Again, thank you. And do I have a motion? Ms. Shanahan,
To adjourn, Mayor.
all in favor?
Go take care of your back.
Thank you. I don't know if I can get up from this chair, but I'm going to try. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Thank you, Common Council.